بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس إنه لقول رسول كريم ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين مطاع ثم أمين وما صاحبكم بمجنون ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين وما هو على الغيب بضنين وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's happening? Reflecto, what up, man? I appreciate you being front and center every time on time because you like my official mic check, man. Let me make sure I'm on the right mic, though. Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, I'm on the mic I want to be on. Yeah. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know. Mike, good, cool. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Cool beans, man. Everybody click the like button that is in the building and let the people know. We're just gonna jump straight into this one. Because I got some real estate duties to do. All right. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu ala Fatima sallallahu ala Ali sallallahu ala the owl beat. So we know, in popular culture, what has hit the news. We have, Pooh Shiesty was arrested for the alleged robbery / kidnapping of Gucci Mane and his security and whatnot. And it is my job to show you where is this in the Qur'an, spiritual text, mainly the Qur'an, and how this, what we would call real life events, take place. I'm going to champion the Qur'an in a way that I believe is truly unique, for sure. And if it exists, it definitely would only exist inside of Sufi orders. And I'm gonna be honest about it, I'm not even sure that it exists in that aspect of being able to make the astrological correspondences, because for some reason A lot of us get cut off when it comes to understanding that the Quran encompasses the law of what we would call astrology. Okay. That's going to take a lot of Orthodox Muslims for a loop, but I beg of you to stay with me, and I should have put it up here because we're going to have to answer two things. One, is it a such thing that Ali said that with Fatiha alone, there are 70 different interpretations? The Tasfir says that Ibn Abbas, who is known as the best reciter of the Quran during the time and life of the Prophet, alayhi salam, said that the Quran has multiple faces. So you have two close companions, scribes, with the Prophet, who said that the Quran has deeper meanings than what we see on the surface. I'm going to show you that it flat out tells you that. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to backtrack a bit. I'm gonna backtrack a bit because we really need to understand this presentation that I did. I had to go back to this. This one for me by far is my favorite one to date. I'm not going to get into all of it, but we must understand it so we can understand the popular culture Gucci Mane, Pooh Shiesty situation. Okay. All right. So the purpose of man and the universe. All right. I'm gonna blow this up. And we did not create the heavens and earth to play with y'all niggas. We did not create them except in truth, but most of them do not know. I'll stop right there. You know, everybody who believe in God know God created the heavens. He created the earth. He believed the stars, and we believe that. Okay. So the Quran can't be talking about this part. You understand what I'm saying? So when it's sitting up here telling us that we did not create them except in truth, but most of them do not know, what do you mean most of them do not know what this truth of creation is? So the truth has to go beyond Mars, has to go beyond, oh, the sky brings down water and that's how we eat from our vegetation, right? It has to go deeper than that, right? Because everybody has a basic understanding of God created the heavens and earth. Everybody who believes in God believes in that part. So it's telling you to go deeper right here. Flat out, it's telling you to go deeper. This is why I say you just can't glaze over the Quran. If you're not paying attention, you know what I mean? Like that'll slip past you. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. You mean to tell me it's something that's deeper that's there? Okay. All right. So Allah created the heavens and the earth in truth. Keep going back to this in truth, so that every soul may be paid for what it has earned, and they will not be wrong. Back it up, go back to the top. And we did not create the heavens and earth in them between them and play for play. We created them in truth, right? Created them in truth. And then here it is, it's saying Allah created the heavens and earth in truth, so that every soul may be paid for what it has earned, and they will not be wrong. Now you have to ask yourself a question. So now it's flat out telling us what the purpose of the heaven and earth is. The purpose of the heaven and earth from the Quran viewpoint is saying, hey, it is to pay the soul for what it has earned, and you won't be wrong. Wait a minute. How can the heavens and earth pay you for what you have earned? And how does it know if I am not being wronged out of its payment? It's some type of payment thing. The universe, in a sense, the heavens is some type of bank, bare minimum, something, right? So these are the things that should make us really think. Okay. All right. And in the heaven is your provision, and whatever you are promised. One of my favorite ones. Whatever you are promised is in the heaven. Okay. So let's look at this real quick. You got everything is in the heaven, all your provision, everything you promise. That consists of cars, that consists of houses, money, your health, children, things of that nature. And remember, it says that it pays the soul what it has earned. We just saw that. So every Muslim should understand, every believer, let me be clear. Every believer should understand that, wait a minute, the provision is in the heaven, and the heaven is how we get paid. That's there. Okay. All right. So let's look at the word truth, because it kept saying, and he created the heavens in truth. Truth means to study, to examine, to investigate, to explore, to look, to inquire into something, to verify, to check, to investigate, to make an official inquiry. We created the heavens in truth. That means, ladies and gentlemen, we have to investigate the heavens. See, that's a big difference now. Big difference. You just can't say it's the truth because God created it. No, you have to investigate that. Truth means an investigation. So you can't take certain things on face value if you don't know it. You have to investigate these things. Yes. All right. So truth means to investigate. All right. Then it says, we will show them our signs on the horizon and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this is the truth. Once again, and I love this verse too, because something is happening on the horizon where planets and stars are, and something is happening inside of yourself, and it's going to keep on happening until we discover that it is the truth. Ain't that something? We will show them our signs in the horizon and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this is the truth. And within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this is the truth. You're supposed to investigate something. And he completed them in 7 heavens within 2 days and inspired in each heaven its command and adored the lowest heaven with lamps as protection. We're going to get into that in a minute. We can skip this. Now, this is the most important part. This is Surah 55 al-Rahman, most merciful, taught the Qur'an, created man, and taught him speech. The sun and moon move by precise calculation, and the stars and trees prostrate. And he raised the heavens and opposed the balance, that you may not transgress in the balance, and establish weight and justice. Do not make deficient the balance. This is basically telling you the law of the heavens. We saw earlier that the Quran says, hey, the heavens is created to pay the soul what it has earned, and you will not be wrong. Hey, all of your provision, your sustenance, zak, is in the heavens. Hey, we did not create the heavens just for play, but most of them do not even know what this is about. Now we get into Rahman, and it's telling us how the law is set up. Let's read it again. Most merciful, taught the Quran, created man, and taught him speech. The sun and moon move by precise calculation, and the stars and the trees prostrate. He raised the heavens and opposed the balance, that you may not transgress in the balance, and establish the weight in justice, and do not make deficient the balance. We're going to look at these words highlighted and then give you another interpretation, the mystical interpretation of what's taking place here. This is important to understand. Trust me, I'm going to make it all make sense. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. He taught Quran. Yes. Created man. Taught speech. Sun and moon. Perfect calculation. The stars and the trees bow down. The heavens was set up as a balance in weight of justice, so we do not make deficient the balance. So go back. Taught the Quran. We see that. Created man, taught him speech. Sun and moon move by precise calculations. Stars and trees bow down. Raise the heavens and oppose the balance, so we won't transgress the balance, because this is about establishing weight of justice, and do not make deficient the balance. Yes, don't cheat. Okay, it's all right here. Yes. Okay, let's move into these. Taught means ilm, which represents knowledge, learning, information. In a plural sense, it means natural sciences. Okay. All right. Now, alam means world. Same root word. Means world, universe, cosmos. Okay. Interesting. All right. Define natural sciences. Academic disciplines that seek to comprehend and explain the physical world and natural phenomenon using empirical evidence and systematic inquiry. Man, using empirical evidence and systematic inquiry. That's going to come back. Bookmark that. Let's look at the root word for Quran, since he taught man Quran. investigate, examine, explore, to study thoroughly. All we saw that as the same definition as haq, truth. So Quran and truth is the same, basically the same thing. Okay. So Quran means to study thoroughly, to investigate something. Okay. So then you said you taught him speech, right? So taught means natural sciences. It means cosmos, but you also said you taught him speech. Yes. Okay. Speech does on the top left means to announce something. You know, we're dealing with the right word here because announcement means speech. Go to the bottom right, same root word, clear proof, indisputable evidence, ladies and gentlemen. Clear proof, indisputable evidence, same as Quran, same as haq, which is truth. Okay. So he didn't teach man regular speech. Hey, my name is Ali. My name is Johnny. No, that's what it's talking about. Okay. So if we look at that, it says in taught, which is natural sciences, indisputable evidence, which is speech, which is truth, which is Quran. Okay. So we have to have indisputable evidence as it pertains to what? Because taught also means what? Universe, cosmos. This is why the Quran is saying, hey, how many of these signs do I show you, but you keep on turning your head? Most of you don't even know what this is about. That's deep. Okay. So let's move on. The sun and moon moves by precise calculation. Define calculation for us. At the top, you'll see to charge, to debit, like somebody's account, to credit, like somebody's account. So that's debits and credits. To think, move to the bottom, to settle an account, to get even with someone. Same root word. Yes? All right. So now what you're saying is the sun and moon credits and debits and settle accounts. Hello? How can it not when we say, hey, in the heavens is your provision and everything promised to you. The heavens and earth is created to pay the soul for what it has earned. So that means the things that are rotating in the heavens have to play a part in the things of how we get paid, where our provision is and how we get paid for the things that we will earn. It has to, because they're sitting up there. Again, this is why the other scripture said, what? On the horizon or in the horizon, yes, in the horizons and within themselves are signs. Yes. All right. That's why. So now when we come to this right here, the sun and moon credits and debits and settles accounts. All right. So then it said the stars and the trees prostrate. Yes. Okay. Well, this is a prayer position known as sajud. Yes. Prayer position. It means to prostrate, as you can see. And then at the top and at the bottom, it means what? Masjid. Yes. Because when you get rid of the M-A in front of the word, you come back to the root, which is sajud. Yes. All right. So therefore, you are the masjid. It's not the physical building. The physical building is where you go, but the physical building is just an external representation of the internal process. This is the temple. We are. That's what the Bible tells us. We are the temple. Okay. Beautiful to have that, but understand that this is it. Okay. All right. So let's come back. Provisions and everything we're promising to heaven. It pays the soul what it has earned. So then it said it raised the heavens and set up the balance so we may not transgress the balance. That's what it said, right? Okay. We see the word for balance means balance, to equilibrate, to poise two things. That's interesting. To distribute equally among something. To distribute something equally, ladies and gentlemen, for something to be in balance, that means there's more than one thing. Bare minimum, two. Okay. All right. So then we get what? Libra. Of course we do, because Libra represents the balance and scales. Okay. Important. And this is what I know historically, that Libra season is Yom Kippur. So last year when I did this presentation, 2025, you see Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement for the Jews, come in on Libra season. Yes. Pay attention to Libra, the glyph on the right-hand side in green. See where the sun, it says number 15. Pay attention to number 15, because number 15 rules or says what? Al Ghafar, the cover, 0 degrees Libra. Oh, interesting. What is Gafar or Gafir? Or some say Gafor, forgiveness. Oh, do it not say Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur? Yes, it does. You see? You see how astronomical, the Jews are? So-called Jews, what you want to call them? The original Hebrews. See how astronomical law they're dealing with here? Okay? All right. And by the way, this was the calendar system in which the Prophet ﷺ was practicing before they changed the calendar 7 years after his death. That's not talked about. So then the Quran reads, so that you may not transgress the balance. What is transgress? To be rough, to overflow, overcome, to seize, grip, befall someone, to be cruel, tyrannical, to oppress someone, ride roughshod over someone. So this is to dominate somebody, okay? To exceed or overstep the bounds, be excessive at the very top. To exceed proper bounds, overstep the bounds, and be excessive, okay? So when we will look at justice and deficient justice, we look at the very top, it says justice and fairness, equity. At the bottom, it says to distribute, to pay in installments. Justice has something to do with paying in installments. Wow. Get to deficiency, everything at the bottom, to cause loss, to damage to someone, to do harm to someone, to destroy or ruin someone, to corrupt someone. Yes? All right. So now let's put it all together. On the right-hand side, most merciful. Natural sciences are to be studied thoroughly and recited. Created man. The heavenly science is to be spoken as clear, indisputable evidence and proofs. The sun and moon settle accounts, and the stars and trees prostrate. He raised the heavens and imposed two things in balance, that you may not exceed the bounds of others, and establish weight where you will pay in installments due to causing loss, damage, or harm to others, i.e., you call it karma. Yes, the concept of karma from the Hindu perspective we just saw is here in the Quran. You will pay. That is the first, 9 ayats in Surah Rahman talking about the cosmic law and how it works. Okay? Now, the story at hand. Because see, the question we're gonna have to ask is, since that last verse said that, hey, you're gonna pay for overstepping the bounds, there's a known fact that Gucci was, today they call him a stepper. Yeah. The Gucci Mane took French Montana's money and just wasn't going to do the studio session. And Waka's mom, Deb, is calling them like, Gucci, you can't do that, man. Come on, man, you can't do that. So who's to say that your karma hasn't come back around? You can't say that. You can't rule that out, because everything happens for you. Everything happens as a divine reason anyway. So the question is, have you been robbed? Have you robbed someone? Then ask the question, have you been robbed? Then it's like, okay, wait a minute, this may make sense. You've robbed someone before. Okay? So if you have, who's to say that this just ain't the laws paying itself back? The Quran says no soul would be wrong. Yes? Let's move in. Let's go into this. All right. All right. We talked about this. Again, the Quran will pay you. Okay. We talked about this, and the heaven is your provision, everything promised. But let's talk about this right here. Let's look at the very top. When the two receivers, talking about recorded angels, receive seated on the right and the left, go to the bottom, he utters no word except that with him is an observer prepared. Then they say to record. So it's talking about these two guardian angels that they say we have, one on the right, recording the good deeds, one on the left, recording the bad deeds. And then they say their name is Raqib and Atid. So Raqib is the observer, and Atid is the one that is ready. Okay. All right. That's what they say. Now, look at the word for rakib, observatory, a telescope, observation. Oh, really? Observatory, watchtowers, and telescopes. Okay. Look at the word for atid on the left. It does mean ready, but on the right, it means floppy, stupid, unfortunate. Yes. So on the left, it means since you're ready, it means future and forthcoming, but it also means stupid. Hold on. So you pair this up with somebody named Rakib, who is an observer. That means telescope. Atid is ready in the future. Oh, okay. With the telescope, are you able to chart a future or where Allah's creation is going to be? That's the beautiful thing about the science. You get to see where Allah's creation is going to be. Right? If you're not ready, which is atid, are you stupid? It's just a question. If you are not ready, are you stupid? Because unfortunate things can potentially happen. As it says, it means unfortunate. Okay? All right. So the Quran says, and indeed, appointed over you are keepers. That's what it says. But then the other, Yusuf Ali says, but verily over you, talking about these angels, are here to protect you. And the word for keepers or protect means hafiz. Okay? Guardians. No. Hafiz, ladies and gentlemen, means memory. Memorizing, memorization, memory. Other definition, to commit to heart. It means preservation. It means protection, as you see, but it also means memory. Okay? All right. So when this verse says, and we made the sky a roof protected. Let's go inside of the text now. It should read, and we made the heavens a ceiling of memory. Ceiling, roof, same thing. Don't that hit different? And we made the heavens a ceiling of memory. I said, alhamdulillah. I said, Jew, who's the only one that's been walking around here for years talking about space has memory? It's been us. It's been us, me and him. Space has memory. We've been saying that for years. Right here in the Quran, they use the word protected. But memories do protect you. Yes, because you remember that the stove is hot, so don't touch it. Yeah, you know that, right? Okay, so good. Memories protect you. Okay? All right, let's move. So isn't it ironic that Gucci and Pooh Shiesty have a song called Still Remember? Still remember. Still remember. Okay? All right, so let's get into the culprits here. Mars. What a coincidence, have keywords that represents iron, steel. Those are code words for guns. That's what we say in the culture. Man, you got that iron. Yo, go get my steel. Blood. Pooh Shiesty and Dirt, get it back in blood. Armed services. There go the guns right there. And war. That's Mars. We're going to look into that. We're going to look into Mr. Pluto because Mr. Pluto represents terrorism. So trust me, if it represents terrorism, it represents kidnapping, force, because Pluto's energy is at the very bottom on the right hand side, underworld. So that's that mask coming over your face. That's that kidnapping, bringing you into the darkness. We don't do it out in the light. We try to conceal this power that we're forcing upon you. That's Pluto. Okay. All right. Now, this is when Gucci Mane is born, because he's in Aquarius, February the 12th. You see the sun in Aquarius. All of the planets in the inside in black, this is where the planets were at when he was born. But the transit date in green at the very top, you see it says transits January 10th, 2026, because this is the day of the event. So the planets in green on the outside of the wheel are where the planets were at on January the 10th, 2026. And so when you look at this and compare the green to the black, you have to know what to look for in this real time, January the 10th, to know if you should even go here, or are you under what I call a cold red at this time? And there is something very alarming that is taking place from green to black. And this is where you must know the law, because it's a good chance, as the Quran says, and we create the heavens for a specific purpose, but most of them do not know. This is exactly what it's talking about right here. Here's a heavenly snapshot. Because remember, the Quran says we're going to pay you. Everything is in the heaven. We're going to pay you. We're going to pay your soul for what it has earned. So now the day of the event in green, in reference to Gucci when he's born, where is the robbery at? Ready? It's right here. The base of the arrow at the bottom stem, not the arrow. The base of the arrow, bottom right, is Mars in the sky, is pointing to Pluto in Libra when Gucci was born. Mars in green, base of the arrow to the right, pointing to Pluto in Libra when he was born. This is called transit, because look at the very top. It says transit January 10th. Transit Mars squares natal Pluto, because natal means nativity, means born. Okay. All right. Look at Capricorn in the top in red. Look at Libra to the bottom right in red. You see Libra to Capricorn is a no-no. So now you can just ask a question so you know I ain't making it up. What is a Mars square Pluto transit? Well, it's often described as drive, aggression. Pluto rules power, transformation. There's going to be power struggles and dominance. You may encounter people who are trying to exert total control over you, or you might feel uncharacteristically strong urge to force your will onto others. These win at all costs attitudes often lead to bitter ultimatums and scorched earth arguments. Burn it down. You see, you got the planet that deals with armed service and pistols, and another planet that deals with terrorism and power and control. So the 90-degree angle, when this happens, it's called on the square. That represents a time of friction and trouble. Okay. All right. So now let's look at Mr. Pooh Shiesty. Oh, you did it. Flat out. Look what Mars is when he was born. I said, oh my God. It's in the same spot. I like this position better. This is when Pooh Shiesty is born. If the record is correct, 11/8/1999, Mars appears to be at the hind of Sagittarius in the sky. Let's look on the day of question, 2026. Oh, Sun there, Venus there, and Mars is right back in the same position where it was in 1999, right here in the birth chart. You see that? Tell me he ain't do it. When Mars represents gunshots, bullets. Yes? All right. So Mr. Pooh Shiesty is having a Mars return. So, of course, you're going to feel cocky at this time. Are y'all seeing this? You seeing this? This is why, see, the timing of events will always tell the tale. There's things that can happen in my reality that I'll just go look at the timing, and I can tell where the nature of the news is. What's that rooted in? Is it rooted in fairness, good, fear, bull, whatever, right? You can tell these things. All right. All right. So let's go back to the Quran. But nay, I swear by the retreating planets, those that run and disappear. What? When I saw this years ago, I was like, yo, hold on, stop playing. I swear by the retreating planets, those that run and disappears. This is in the Quran, ladies and gentlemen. when we go look at that word retreating planet, please note that it was only mentioned one other time. And it was mentioned in the last surah, Surah 114, verse 4, fourth word. And they explained it as the one who withdraws. Well, who is the one that withdraws that they're talking about in that surah? So when we come over here to this surah, it reads, from the evil of the whisperer, the one who withdraws. Okay. Now, if you know this surah, you know it's the last surah. Yes. And it'll say, how would that go? My mind is on the metaphysics right now. When you deal with by the God, what it goes, by the God of man, the Lord, by the Lord of man, the God of man. Say, I seek refuge. There you go. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind, the God of man, the King of mankind, the God of mankind. Then it comes into this verse right here. Okay. Comes here and says, from the evil whisperer of the one who withdraws. So the beginning part is, hey, it tells you, say, cool. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, the God of mankind, from the evil whisperer of the one who withdraws. So they say, oh, okay, that's Satan. Cool, no problem. But we just saw that the one who withdraws, yes, the one who withdraws literally is described in another verse as the retreating planets. See, we're going to take the mystery out this. What did the Prophet ﷺ tell his wife Aisha? Your devil has come to you. She said, oh, Prophet, do everyone have a devil? He said, yes. Oh, Prophet, do you have a devil? He said, yes, but Allah has helped me subdue my devil. And now he doesn't bother me. He didn't say the devil, your devil. But see, now the Quran is telling us, hey, protect yourself from the evil whispers of the planets that retreat. Because the planet that represents death, Pluto, the planet that represents force, Pluto, kidnapping, Pluto, gunshots, Mars, when they're in a certain position, it's potentially game on. It's game on at that time. You don't tell me the Quran ain't astronomical nor astrological. Proof is right here. Proof is right here. See, these are the type of questions that we have to have. I had a dream last night. Because we doing a 14, I think it's a 14-week certain zikr of tapping into what we tap into, dealing with the Prophet and his family. And a dream came to me last night, being in the masjid. And I'm just gonna leave it right there, because I know what that's talking about. I'm gonna leave it right there. All right, but again, Mr. Iman, how can you have to tell me, hey, the Quran says in the heavens is my provision, everything promised to you. Can you explain that to me? Can you explain personally? I want to know about my money. Where in the heavens is it? All right. So where we at here? Let's talk about the power of words, because the Quran knows that too. In 35:10, it says, whoever desires honor, then to Allah belongs all honor. To him ascends good speech, and righteous work raises it. But they who plot evil deeds will have a severe punishment. In the plotting of those, it will perish. Then it goes on to say in another surah, have you not considered how Allah's presence or presents an example, making a good word like a good tree whose root is firmly fixed and its branches high in the sky? It produces its fruit all the time by permission of its Lord. And Allah presents examples for the people that perhaps they will be reminded. So we're told that good words, ladies and gentlemen, goes very high. It reaches the Lord. Now, on the adverse, it says, in the example of a bad word is like a bad tree, uprooted from the surface of the earth, not having any stability. Yes. So the root word that we see here in red in Arabic will be jim tha. Okay. We look into that jim tha. It means a corpse. That's Pluto, dead body bones. So your words, ladies and gentlemen, the good words reach Allah, and good things happen. It's like fruit, that's like trees always bearing fruit from good words. Bad words kill. Bad words kill. Let's see an example of bad words killing. For an example, we know when Biggie passed away, his album came out 2 weeks later called Life After Death. See, you're casting spells among ourselves. That's what we do. We cast spells among ourselves based off of thought, word, and action. And word is powerful because that is really a thought made manifest. Even though the physical reality didn't happen, it's still an expression of the invisible plane that's there. Thought is, it's hard enough to just deal with thought and keep that like, oh, I hope that don't manifest. But speech is like, oh no. Because when you look at a wave of energy, it starts off in radio form. That's the lowest wavelength. It's radio form. So to say something, it's ball game. Let's look at XX Extension. His last video before this beautiful young kid was murdered. That's him with the hat in the alleyway walking to his own funeral. You see this? Walking to his own funeral. He had an idea to go to his own funeral and then will be killed. You understand? It's very real. Very real. So the bad will create death. Here's a study done at IKEA, the furniture place. On the left-hand side, kids spoke at a plant and they was bullying the plant. This was a project on bullying. And on the right-hand side, they gave praises. Praise me, Muhammad. They gave praises. You're so beautiful. You're lovely. I love you. Positive words. Look at the difference. Don't tell me words don't hurt. Words hurt. Don't mean you have to respond, but don't act like they don't hurt. Words hurt. And words caress. So in the Qur'an, where it says the tree wouldn't have any stability, stability also means comfort, ladies and gentlemen. So the bad words can create a place that take us out of comfort. Just the words. Okay? And this is why, what do I say about Fridays? If you're in a relationship, and if you're not one, you need to be practicing. You need to have a practice partner that shares in the appreciation every Friday, particularly at sunset. Whatever you appreciate about that person. That's important. Don't act like the plants, like we humans and the plants, we just want kingdom up. We're heavily dependent upon them. We don't get no oxygen if it's not for them. You understand what I'm saying? So the oxygen that they exude, hey, that's a frequency. What frequency is it? You got a bunch of dead plants in here. Plants can't stay alive for some reason. What's going on? It's a science to learn it, you know? All right. So that verse that says, and we made the heavens a ceiling of memory, but from it, but they from its signs turn away. That's the back part of that verse. I promise you. 21:32. And we made the heavens a ceiling of memory, but they from its signs turn away. And then the Quran says, and we did not create them, heaven and earth, except in truth, but most of them do not know. Here go two references telling us the depth of the heavens and earth, but we are turning away from the heavenly law because we think it's shirk, or we think it's so popular today. Juice sent me something. Mark Jacob got a Leo bag now, you know? So I digress. Here's my little garden in the back. I love the sunshine, like to catch the rays of the light and whatnot. So I did a raised garden bed, two of them, and I'm waiting for the official frost to pass. In fact, I got a video. I'll show you a little video real quick. We have a strawberry plant here. Okay, pretty birds. I hear y'all. Cabbage that we have. Raised garden bed. I'm waiting for the frost. Again, today is April 10th. Our last frost is around the 15th. So I'm waiting for the last frost before I put soil into this bed, remove these, and probably put these back up on the deck here, and then start planting my greens and stuff like that. But we have Swiss chard, we have broccoli, we have cabbage is what you see for the most part, and romaine. We have a herb basket here with lavender and rosemary. The marigolds that you see are supposed to be great at keeping insects away. We have purple cabbage here along with marigolds, and we have a bunch of mint over there to keep the pest away. And this one here actually has some dill inside of it. Okay, so we got our fire pit. This is the southern sky right here. See the sun. We see all the planets, all the stars at night and whatnot. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And this is a potato tower. So we have Pontiac red potatoes here. We have Yukon gold potatoes in that bucket. And then we have a blueberry tree that's growing. Okay, so that's a blueberry. This is Miss Peaches, a peach tree that's growing. This is a raspberry tree that we have. And here is another blueberry tree that I'm gonna plant. I'm debating where I'm gonna plant it. I'm timing the sun to see how much sunlight it gets right here. And then what I didn't show you over here, love this yard. This is where we sit by the fire, do some Sufi chants, meditation, silence, eat from the garden, Tai Chi, Qigong, especially Qigong work. And we have a blackberry tree right here. It's a blackberry tree. So a blackberry tree right here by the garden. Beautiful space. This is what we doing. And this was gifted to me from my neighbor the other day. So I put this in the ground as well. I'm gonna water her today and whatnot. But this is what we doing at the Golden Heart Love Center. Your support is definitely appreciated. Much thank you. Everybody in the Patreon, everybody over the years, everybody that's with me, you know. So we're gonna paint this deck, just waiting for consistent warm days with no rain. That's be the next step. And going ahead and finishing up some things in the inside, such as posters and things that we need for more of our office space. Okay. Alrighty. So I will see you later. I appreciate y'all. Hit that Cash App. All right, so that's just work we doing over here at this particular property that y'all know about and whatnot. And you know, if you're interested in taking some courses too, you know what I mean, for sure. Man, learn this. It's a beautiful science. You can go to, I'll share my screen with you. You can come over here to, where is that at? Boop. You can come here to Noble and Pooh courses. All right. And man, salute to B, hooked it up. He created a theater style thing. You can see So all of the videos, the most popular videos that's circulating right now is there. And there is a unlocking the Hebrew alphabet. There's an astro modality. I say start with mastering the 4 elements for sure, but he hooked you up at a bundle deal. You can't even beat that, man. Straight up great bundle deal. And it's module based, and you gotta score 100 though. All right. That's how I get down. When I'm in the classes, you have to score 100. That is a must. Okay. You gotta. All right. So you gotta score that 100. Let me see something real quick. Oh, all right, cool. All right. So you gotta score 100, but you can go to nobleandpoolcourses.com, man. And yeah, man, get on it and whatnot. And again, salute to everybody who helped out, man, for joining the Patreon and also sending the Cash App that helps me take care of this place and get this place going. We're gonna have I think the small bedroom is going to be the place where I introduce this technology. And I shared it before, but I got this aura chakra technology that'll give you a comprehensive 30-something page report dealing with the inner energy of yourself. That's important to really understand that. And that science now takes us over to China to learn how to cultivate it in a sense. All right. And that's what the prophet said. He said, go as far as China to seek knowledge. Okay. So it's something over there. So I got that technology. I got a cool heart technology as well. And it's one thing to know about this stuff, but it's another thing to actually have the tools to be able to literally see before and after progress of your own internal energy, and then leaving and knowing how to maintain your own energetic field. Because the 7 heavens is also inside of us. Hence, they call it the 7 chakras. I showed you that in the video called 7 Chakras in the Qur'an. That's also, it's there. It's in your body. Okay. And so learning how to take care of that is the key. And so that's what I'm doing in this private space. So this is not a public office. None of that stuff. This is a private, almost really countryside, because it's a big cornfield right here. And I keep saying this is county. This isn't even city property. This is county. Okay. And the goal is we have a garden and we have our own fresh food, our own qigong, our own little ceremony thing we do, relax, be quiet, chill, or questions, ask, get on the technology, leave. It's all good and whatnot. All right. So to inquire, just hit me up, but I'll be letting you know when the technology is available. I just need to get a few more things in here, and we're going to make it happen. All right. All right, so I'm gonna leave y'all with the idle cursey. I would take some Q&A, but it's a busy day today. It's real estate, and I'll leave you with the idle cursey. But feel free to let me make sure I ain't ignore nobody in the combo. I didn't know that marigolds are good in salads. I didn't even know they was edible. Thank you, Nikki Bryan. Appreciate it. Cool. Yeah, it makes sense to have that. Yep. All right. So yeah, we getting there, man. We getting there. We moving and grooving. Again, thank you for your support, man. If you can, please hit that Cash App, and that just keeps everything going. You know what I mean? All right. All right. So I'm gonna leave you with the idle cursey. If you have a question, feel free. You can email me nobleandpoo@gmail.com. For sure, if you're in the Patreon, always inbox me. All right. In fact, tomorrow night we got to get together because we're gonna do free readings tomorrow night. And I don't even like doing nighttime readings, so I'm actually I really should tweak that, but I got a busy day tomorrow. But I'm gonna let this month ride and whatnot. I don't read at night. I read in the light. I don't read in the dark. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. All right. So we're gonna get out of here with the idle cursey. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم